Once upon a time, in a quaint village in Arabia, there lived a man who owned a magnificent camel. This camel was not just any ordinary animal. It was the man's loyal companion on all his journeys. However, one unfortunate day, tragedy struck when the man lost his beloved camel unexpectedly. Determined to find his missing companion, he embarked on a desperate search, asking everyone he encountered, "Have you seen my camel?" His efforts, unfortunately, proved futile as he received no leads or information in his relentless pursuit to be reunited with his camel. The man found himself in a bustling city where he crossed paths with three wise men. Intrigued by their reputation for wisdom, the man approached them with a glimmer of hope and posed the same question he had asked countless others before. "Have any one of you seen my camel?" The three wise men paused, deep in thought, pondering the man's words. After a moment, they began to speak. The man's curiosity piqued. He eagerly asked them, "Have you seen my camel on your way?" The first wise man inquired, "Is your camel's one eye blind?" Surprised, the man responded hastily, Yes, my camel does indeed have one blind eye." The man moved on to the second wise man, repeating his question, "Have you seen my camel on your way?"
The second wise man,
now intrigued, asked, "Is your camel lame?" The man's curiosity grew.
even more, and he quickly replied,
Yes, he is indeed lame." Eager for any information, the man turned to the third wise man and asked for the final time, "Have you seen my camel?"
with a knowing smile.
The third wise man questioned, "Was your camel carrying honey on one side and grain on the other side?" Hope started to blossom within the man's heart, and he eagerly addressed the three wise men. "Have you all seen my camel? Please tell me." To his surprise and disappointment, the three wise men replied in unison, "We had never seen your camel." Frustrated and angered, the man accused the wise men of fooling him. He refused to believe their claims of innocence and immediately took them to the king for further inquiry. Standing before the king, the man boldly proclaimed, "These three men have stolen my camel, my lord." He proceeded to describe to the king what the wise men had asked him. The king, intrigued by the unfolding mystery, turned to the three men and asked them to explain themselves. With unwavering confidence, they denied ever laying eyes on the man's camel. Perplexed, the king questioned them on how they could discern the identity of the lost camel without ever seeing it themselves. The first wise man stepped forward and divulged his perception. He had noticed that the grass had been consumed on only one side, leading him to conclude that the camel must be blind in one eye. The second wise man then shared his observation. He had witnessed a scattering of grains on one side and honey on the other side, which led him to deduce that the camel was carrying grains on one side and honey on the other side. Finally, the third wise man articulated his revelation. He had noticed that the hoof marks left behind by the camel were lighter on one side than the other, leading him to the conclusion that the camel must be lame. As the courtiers, including the king, marveled at the sharpness of these three wise men, the king declared their innocence. To further validate their wisdom, he instructed the owner of the lost camel to search along the path the three wise men had taken, leaving the court with a heavy heart but renewed hope. The man bent his head in search of his camel. Impressed by the cleverness and astuteness displayed by the three wise men, the king appointed them as his trusted ministers. They served the kingdom faithfully, and the king heeded their counsel, ultimately ruling according to their wise advice. Thus, the kingdom prospered under the guidance of these three remarkably wise men.